All right, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to Fleagle's Bagels, where it is a show that has nothing to do with bagels, or does it? But everything to do with the Fleagles. So I am your host, Jason Fleagle, and I've got a very special co-host, or I guess guest with me today, my brother Justin Fleagle. For those of you who do not know who Justin is one of the fastest swimmers in the United States. So he actually just was at YMCA Long Course National Championships in Baltimore, Maryland, at the University of Maryland. He was swimming there. He actually won 3 events. Did you end up breaking any records there?
No, it was pretty close. I swam the second fastest time in history in one event, and the one prior to that, he was about third in the nation for about every butterfly event behind Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so these are people like Tim Phillips, who competed regularly with Michael Phelps. So, these were pretty top dogs, at least in the YMCA swimming world, before they kind of moved on into, doing competitive swimming. So really proud of Justin. But to kind of kick us off, Justin, what do you want to share with the audience that is something about you that most people don't know about? Maybe something unique or something that you like to do for fun. What's something about you that most people don't know about?
I like drawing. Interesting, but I don't know. I may start posting stuff about drawing in the future, but yeah.
I don't want to downplay it when he says drawing, because his drawings are really, really good. I would say they're as good as many illustrators. We'll need to show those at some point, because those are pretty cool. I was actually just talking with a business owner the other day. He's got his own studio. He specializes in making children's books. So they do all the drawings and all the design work for those children's books. Really cool. He just got a book deal, I think, with Scholastic Books, to do a number of different books with them. I don't want to give too much of the details of the story, because I don't think it's public knowledge yet. But I was mentioning, how Justin was interested in doing the illustration work, and he was interested in talking with you. So we'll see where that goes. Yep. But yeah, tell us and our listeners tuning in for the Fleagle Bagel Show a little bit about your story. Where are you from? What was it like growing up? Because I know, because you're my brother. Yeah. But these guys don't know. So tell us about that.
So I'm actually from the same place he is, oddly enough. I'm from Northwest Ohio, born and raised. Tiny town.
Yeah, small town.
Small town. I grew up swimming and playing video games, drawing, kind of normal stuff, I guess. We were homeschooled. I'm the 10th of 10 children. And
only 10.
Yeah, only 10. I wish we had more, but that's besides the point.
Wow. I can't imagine more than 10 already. Wow.
So I enjoyed swimming, and swimming kind of came naturally for me. It was almost like a little bit of an escape. I'd go out, do school and stuff, and then I'd go swim, kind of just splash around, have fun a little bit. And then I realized, started to get a little bit better. Around 8 years old, took it a little more seriously. And then around 8 or 10, I became one of the fastest kids in the country for my age, and then escalated from there. And today I'm one of the top recruits for my class of 2020 going in. So that's
have you committed to anyone for college?
Yes.
Who'd you commit to?
I committed to the Ohio State University, and they're a great group of people I've talked to, and I support them greatly, and they're just great people.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you swim there. Your older brother, my younger brother, Josh, actually swam for the Ohio State University. I think he was a team captain there for 2 years, 3 years maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
So, shout out to Josh if you're tuning in, Josh. So let's move on to the next question. So, what got you interested in swimming? And I, just being your brother, I knew that we weren't forced to do it, but it was just something all of us, did.
Yeah.
Growing up, we kind of grew up in the pool. Mom would put us in the water and just have us spend so much time in the water. But what got you involved in swimming, and then why do you enjoy swimming so much today?
Well, I got involved in swimming because I like the feeling of the water. Swimming is a little different from every other sport because, one, it's a racing sport, and two, you're in the water. Other sports in the water usually involve goal scoring or judges. So swimming is a racing sport, so it's only you. You are in control of yourself, and no one else really has control of you besides the lane that you're in. It's only you, and the feeling of the water is fantastic, and it's cool. You don't have to wear a whole bunch of clothes or be cold, too cold. You get cold a little bit every once in a while, but that's what drew me to swimming. And what's kept me in swimming is the competitive aspect. Winning all the time is really fun. So
yeah, for sure. Well, swimming is, because I did competitive swimming too, but I'm not, at the level of Justin or what Josh is. But swimming is different, so much so because we're used to running and walking, where swimming, we're putting our bodies in a completely unknown environment, and just that ability to kind of adapt to that new environment is like one difficulty, let alone like learning how to manipulate your body to move in those different strokes. And I mean, for most people are familiar with the strokes, but it's freestyle, backstroke, butterfly, and breaststroke that are the four main strokes in swimming. So it just takes a lot of coordination and a lot of development. I mean, Justin has been swimming pretty much since he was a baby. So, he puts in a lot of time, effort, and dedication into the sport, but he also puts time and effort in the right way, because, you can put time and effort into something, but it's got to be done in the right way.
That's right.
For you to get those results. So that's awesome. I love it. So, I mean, what do you see for yourself with the future of swimming? Are you going to try to go for the Olympic team? I mean, what's your goals in swimming?
The future that I see in swimming is a little bit different than other people in swimming. I think a lot of kids my age coming in that are pretty high class are looking to the Olympics and looking to compete for the United States. I'm looking at more of it as a platform to put me on to what I want to do in the future.
What do you want to do for the future?
I want to work with you like I have been, and I want to build up a really good brand to showcase maybe the sport of swimming, but maybe not limiting to the sport of swimming, and just helping people find their goals. So that's what I want to do.
I mean, what attracts you to wanting to help and serve people in that way, rather than like going to be a lawyer or something? I mean, why does that sound more attractive to you?
Because it's just my personality. I like serving people, and helping people find what they want to do is really appealing to me. And by helping other people, they help you in return. And by helping enough of people get what they want, you can get what you want in return. Yeah,
that's actually one of my favorite quotes from Zig Ziglar. You can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. So awesome. Yeah, I love it. So before we get too far into the interview, for those of you guys who are tuning in, and we've got quite a few people tuning in, we've got Jared, Jessica, Jamie, Kyle, Erica. Hi, Erica.
Hey.
Erica said, "Now I know why you wanted a pool home." Yes, exactly. Yep. Having family come and stay with us. I mean, water is just a part of who we are and our lifestyle. So definitely want to be surrounded by water, whether that's in the ocean or having a pool in the backyard. Very important. And shout out to Erica. Erica's the awesome realtor, and she also has an amazing networking group here in the Palm Coast area. But she helped us out get our new house down here. So thank you so much. We've got Larry Gruber joining in. Chris is here. Brooke, Shauna, Jared, Jake. Hi, Jake. So we're going to transition. I'm going to ask a few more questions, but we're going to transition into a Q&A time, because we're going to be live here for probably the next 10 to 15 minutes. So maybe even 20 minutes, depending on how many questions we get. But I want to ask you guys, or give you the opportunity to ask us some questions, ask Justin some questions. What was it like growing up with 10 kids, What was it like training at a level that most professional athletes train at? I mean, ask any kind of questions for us. That's what we are here for. For those of you, if you're just tuning into the show for the first time, the purpose of this show is really to use social media and all of our different social platforms to bring people together, encourage all of us, and push us to become better. The whole idea of a community of people coming together is to support and love one another. Social media has a tendency to focus on the negativity and bring out the worst in people, and I want to use the platforms to be able to use it for good. So that's what this show is all about, to equip you guys with what you need to succeed. I know, we talk about the bagels, and that's funny. I love the idea of Fleagle Bagels. Who knows, maybe we'll start a restaurant or a food truck at some point in the future. But that's what this show is all about. So I want to give you guys the opportunity now to ask any questions. So right now in the comment section below, I want you guys, any questions, whatever it is, some of the other previous Fleagle Bagel shows that I have done, people try to stump me, they want me to tell a joke. I will leave it up to you guys to determine what you want to ask. So right now, ask those questions and we will answer it.
Yep.
So we've got Julia and Kyle said, "I love your shirt." Thank you.
I needed one like him, but he didn't have another one.
Well, we were going to duct tape the bagel on Justin's shirt, but I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah, the bagel was... duct tape, oddly enough, doesn't work well on food.
Hey, Shauna says hi. Hi, Shauna.
Hey.
Justin, who's your favorite sister-in-law?
Who's my favorite sister-in-law? Wow. That's a really tough question, Katie. I wonder who it is. There's so many options. I'm going to have to go with Katie Fleagle. She's the best one out there. It's no competition.
She's the only one out there. Shauna says yes, 24K. She must like your shirt.
Yep.
Shout out to 24K.
Yep.
Relives 24K. For those of you guys who don't know, it's actually kind of funny. I was, I guess, a model / ambassador for 24K when they launched that. So Relive actually flew me out to Chesterfield, Missouri, to basically do a photo shoot and to do some video recordings. I solved the Rubik's Cube for them because I was actually doing a tour of Relive, and I think one of the marketing team members had a Rubik's Cube, and I just solved it really quick for them. They were like, "Wow, we need to have that in the video." So, yeah, shout out to Relive for 24K. Let's see, who else do we have here? We have Chuck and Katie joining in. Hi, Katie. Hi, Chuck. So Dad, Jeff Fleagle says, "Wow, must have great parents." Yes, thank you, Dad. Kyle says, "Hi, bros." Katie says, "Nice shirt." Yeah, so this shirt here, I'm just here for the bagels. My wife, Katie, has her own t-shirt and baby bow company, so she actually does custom designs there. Yeah. So when I was telling her that I was going to do this, I was like, "Hey, can you make me a shirt for the bagels?" So I think every Fleagle Bagel show, I'll end up having a different shirt on here. So okay, so let's go ahead and jump into your training regimen, Justin, because I want to know more about that, and I want you to talk to the audience about that. And before we do, again, if you guys have questions, you have anything you want us to talk about, do you have questions for Justin? Let us know in the comment section. We are here for the next 10 to 15 minutes live, being able to answer the questions that you have. So Justin, how much do you train on a daily basis for your swimming? And then of course I want to know how much do you eat on a daily basis? Because swimmers are known, with you staying at our house for the last few days, I can see that you eat tons of food because your metabolism is so fast. So what does training look like, and then how much do you eat on a daily basis?
Yeah, so training is pretty, reputation for swimming is pretty brutal. My personal experience with training and swimming is actually not as high as other people as good as me. I kind of surprise myself every time I swim because the amount of time of water I spend just hard training in the water isn't as high. But what I do when I train is I always think about where my hand placement is. So it's about like all the technique stuff. I'm always thinking about how I can make my stroke better. I'm always asking other people for different perspectives that I may not see myself. And I usually go about once a day, and throughout the week. So
once a day, like to the pool to train.
Yeah.
What's your dry land regiment look like?
I usually
every day or every other day?
It's like every other day. I do it by myself. It usually involves like really, really low weights, a lot of leg stuff because legs are really important swimming. I need to start getting into more core, but usually it's at home kind of thing.
Yeah, core training is so important in many sports, but especially for swimming because you're in water balancing your body to like move and do different movements with your body to propel yourself forward. So the core is really, your ab muscles, your obliques, your serratus anterior are so important for being able to manipulate your body where it needs to go. So yeah. So how many meals? How much calories do you think you eat a day? Because I know like Michael Phelps, he did that funny amount of calories. It was like what 20,000 or something. So how many meals a day do you usually eat?
I don't really know how many meals I eat. I kind of just eat all day. It's usually like 4 like actual meals, but throughout that I'm just grazing all the time. So it's probably like 8,000 is my guess.
Yeah.
Maybe even more when I'm training, and after swim meets, it's probably a lot more than that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. So we've got Kyle Clements here asking a question. What was it like growing up with 10 siblings? And I'll leave you up to answer that.
So, what was it like growing up with 10 siblings? Well, I was the youngest one, so I kind of got babied a little bit. Everyone kind of wanted to take me to be their doll, especially my older siblings. So it was kind of like when you're younger, with that many people in the family, you kind of have to fight for food. So Mom, she'd make the big tub of food, but usually soup or some type of casserole that she can have in big crock pots. And we'd all go in to eat, and we'd all like fight for the food. We got a lot of good stories.
Yeah, mom and dad would go like shopping for groceries at Sam's Club.
Yeah.
And they would usually go out to eat and bring home leftovers from like Olive Garden or some restaurant. And as soon as they got home, we would swarm to eat the food as fast as we could. Yeah. So it was
before anyone else gets to it, you have to eat it.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And even growing up too with food in the fridge, we would have to like hide it so the other siblings wouldn't eat it.
Yep.
So we've got another question here from Shauna. Shauna says, does he take the Relive products? So Justin, do you take the Relive products? And then I'll even ask another question, like more in addition to that. With your training, do you think it's necessary to take supplements just to help your body kind of repair all of the muscles that are like broken down with your training?
Yeah, so I do take Relive, and I take it frequently. The reason why I'm wearing the shirt right now is because I strongly support 24K and what it has done for me throughout training, and even in school it alleviates my headaches and stuff. But Relive is like, it's like the products are like none other. It's literally in a class of its own. And to your point about training with, is it necessary to take a supplement? Yes, it is. Because the reason why I say that is because everyone that I've talked to that is as good as me or better all take some type of supplement. Sadly enough, it usually is something that will deteriorate their body down the road.
Yeah, it's drugs in most cases too.
Yeah, and short term at swim meets, usually it involves like extreme amounts of caffeine doses. And every year they're just developing more and more products that contain more and more caffeine that is not beneficial at all.
Some of our friends too. I mean, they're like injecting themselves with caffeine, Adderall, some of these other like drugs, steroids too.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I love about Justin with his training too. Is he refuses to do any kind of steroids or negatively affecting drugs or these supplements for his body. He chooses to do purely organic, natural supplements that like Relive offers, especially 24K with their natural. It's called 24K because they have 24 natural ingredients, all organic, energy promoting products in it. So it's really, really awesome. But yeah, I interrupted. What were you going to say?
So a lot of the guys, they're taking down large amounts of caffeine, and usually swim meets last anywhere between like 3 days. The big meets anywhere between 3 days and a whole week. The events are spread out, so you have prelims and finals, and we're going into finals. They're digesting a lot of caffeine, and they usually can't sleep that night, which hinders their performance the next morning. So usually you'll see a lot of the really fast sprinters, they'll take a lot of caffeine, and you can tell that they're taking a lot of caffeine because they're not too good at the end of the meet.
And they're like really, really jittery too.
Yeah, really jittery. It's not good. When I take the 24K, I sleep perfectly fine. Actually, sometimes when I can't sleep, I'll take the 24K. I know for certain everyone out there who takes C4 and other products like that cannot say the same thing. You'll stay up at night if you take it. I can take this and go to sleep perfectly fine.
Yeah, same here. So let's move on to the next question. So we've got Jeanette, our sister Jeanette. Hi, Jeanette.
Hey, Jeanette.
How do you keep your spirits up after having a really bad meet?
I go through it really lightheartedly. I don't really get attached to my times too much. I kind of just I'm the guy that when I get into the swimming world, I kind of have a little bit of a different personality because you can't get too down about a bad swim. You always have to be looking towards the next swim and how you can do better. So I have a little bit of reputation in swimming to be kind of a goofy person. I wear gloves. I have a Santa hat that I walk out at finals.
Well, when you get up on the winner's podium, when they give out your medals, what do you usually carry with you up onto the podium?
Yeah, I carry this. It's a fantastic invention. It's called Bagels. Very, very good to catch people's eye. Really good. I highly recommend carrying bagels to a large event. It's really good.
What do people say when they see you carrying up the bagels?
I've been called anything from you're a goofy guy to being just a clown personality. Usually people kind of giggle at me. I like it a lot because when you have that type of personality and you beat someone, they can't get mad at you because they can only laugh at you. Yeah. It's actually really funny.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I love puns. I don't know. Do you like to do puns too?
I mean, I'll join in every once in a while when our family gets going.
Because my dad loves puns, and that was, I think, one of the best things growing up because my dad's a dentist, so we had the opportunity. As many siblings as they wanted, we could work in my dad's dental office if we wanted to, and I got to work with him like many years, but it was hilarious because we would be working on a patient and doing like puns back and forth, and I felt sorry for some of the patients because they would be like laughing so much that like they would have to sit up and cough a little bit because of the jokes we were saying. I mean, I can't even think of like ones off the top of my head. Like there would be times I'd be saying, like, we'd be in there and I'd be like, you know what? I think that it feels like we're camping right now. My dad would be like, why? And I'd be like, because it's intense. Something like that, that was funny. I personally like to do the humor and jokes and be funny in that way.
Right.
I don't know if it's the same way for you, but I like to do it because it makes people in a vulnerable state. Like,
that's right.
people, we have this ability to just go through the motions and again be depressed almost. But when you hear a joke, you see a joke, you can't help but laugh, even if it's really stupid. And most of my jokes are like really, really stupid. But people laugh anyway, and it breaks that kind of cycle of, you know, negativity. They're like, oh, that was funny. And you can see their eyes light up. You know, the spark comes back to them, and they start to, like, look at things a little bit differently. Dr. Patch Adams is a person who is great with that. For those of you who don't know, you know, he's the founder of the Gesundheit Institute. He used to dress up as a clown, do all these funny things for little kids who had really, really bad sicknesses and diseases, illnesses, because he believed that laughter was the best medicine. Dr. Patch Adams, I have tremendous respect for, because it's we live in a negative world. But we also live in a very positive world, and we have the choice to choose positivity or negativity. So what will you choose, kind of thing. So let's see. What else do we have here? Kyle asks, where is your favorite place to swim?
Where's my favorite place to swim? That would have to be probably a tie between The Ohio State University and Miami University. Both pools are really good. Both pools are really fast. And the reason why I like Miami University is because I have a lot of my best times there. And it's kind of a home pool-ish a little bit. It's like the biggest pool that is closest to us.
Yeah, I love it. I will second Miami University, because that was one of the... I mean, we would try... Well, I don't know. I liked... the aquatic center in Fort Lauderdale, swimming, it was tied to the Swimming World Hall of Fame. That pool was awesome. I know it was closed the last handful of years just because they needed to do a whole massive amount of renovation. So, but that was, I mean, you're in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You have sunlight. There's marina nearby. It's so beautiful. Talk about like paradise. So
and the Ohio State University, they have the largest aquatic center in the United States. So that's kind of speaks for itself a little bit. So
we've got a few more people joining us. We had Chris join us. We had Paul join us, and we had Pam join us. Hello, guys.
Hey.
Quick shout out to you. So Julia asked a question. I'll get to Julia in just a second. We're doing, if you just tuned in, we are doing a live Q&A with my brother Justin, who is one of the fastest swimmers in the country right now. Just swam at the YMCA National Long Course Championships and placed. He won 3 events and then placed in the top 5 for the other few that he did. But we're doing a live Q&A right now. So if you want to ask a question, you want us to talk about any particular topic, comment in the comment section below, and we will get to it. We've got about 10 more minutes where we're going to be doing this Q&A. So if you have something that you want us to talk about, comment now while you can. If you're watching or replaying this video at a future date, comment in the comment section, and Justin and I will do our best to get an answer over to you, or we might even go live again at some point in the the next week. So Julia's question is, what is your favorite thing about swimming?
My favorite thing about swimming, just the bare swimming, excluding the competitive aspect, is the feeling of swimming and being underwater and holding your breath. You're secluded, you're by yourself, it's only you, and it's just you and your thoughts, and everything's blocked out, and it's extremely peaceful. But when you add competitive into it, it's obvious. I obviously like the competitive aspect, and winning and breaking records and setting records is really fun.
Well, I think swimming is different because it's a individual sport, but it's also a team sport.
That's right. Because
it's up to you to perform, at a high level. So there's individual responsibility, and then there's also team responsibility, like the relays. You are counting on your other teammates to do well for the total points of a swim meet. You're counting on every single swimmer to do their best, because collectively, that's how the team places and that's how the team wins. So it's a balance between individual responsibility and the collective team, which is really cool. It's different from other sports like football or basketball where the team is out there the whole time. I mean, it's just a different kind of dynamic and component to it. So let's see, we've got Lisa and Scott joining us. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Katie says, what was your most memorable swim meet and why?
Most memorable swim meet, that's a good one. It was probably the first time I won a national championship. It was about 2 years ago, and it was the 50-meter backstroke. And the reason why it was so memorable to me is because the time that I did actually ranked top 4 of the kids in my class in the nation. There's a lot of kids, and being top 4 in an event is like really, really good. I was really proud of myself. And that was probably the most memorable swim meet, and it was because I swam so fast.
What was one of the best learning experiences in swimming that you think you've had?
The best learning experience? Probably the amount of dedication that you have to get up in the morning, because swimming's a little bit different. Since you're inside, you can kind of practice whenever the coach wants you to. So sometimes you'll have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 to go to practice, and that's probably the biggest thing. It's really, you have to have a lot of dedication, and it's an extremely vital skill outside of the sport of swimming when you get into the professional world.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's great. So we've got Lisa asking a question. How or what did you do to get through a disappointing moment in swimming or in life?
I would probably say, particularly in the sport of swimming, how I got through it is I'd look at how the fastest people swam and what I did wrong and how I could improve it. So what I did is I didn't think about how bad I swam. I thought what I could improve. I wasn't focused on the negative. I was focused on the positive. That's always how I've done it, and that's how you should do it yourself. And outside of the sport of swimming, how I've overcome disappointments. It's literally the same thing. If it's something in school, I'll look on, particularly since I'm the last born, this is why I love being the last born, is I can actually look at what my older siblings have done in the past and where they ranked and how I can improve myself in school. And also I can compare myself, I wouldn't say compare myself, I would say how I could improve on like drawing, for example.
Yeah, using them as an example. Right?
Yeah. So that's what I would say.
Well, one of the best things I love about that, Justin, is you've recognized early on in life that seeking out a mentor and a model, like in a situation that you ultimately want to be in, or even the negative aspect where it's a situation you don't want to be in and you learned, oh, they made that mistake because of this. Maybe if I'm in a similar situation, I can do it a little bit differently. Try. So that's one of the things I've noticed, especially with my other show that I do, the Grow Like a Pro show, where I interview entrepreneurs and business leaders all over the world, very successful people. One of the common themes that I see with them is they seek out mentors constantly. They seek out people who are in a position that they want to be in at some point in the future. They look at what they did, and then they retrofit a process into their own life that they can kind of use on their own journey. Now, everyone is not going to be the same, and you should never try to be someone that you're not, but you take your authentic self, who you are authentically. Every person is different. So what's that identity you have? And then you can always look at other people as a model, ask for advice, because that drastically reduces your learning curve. I'm sure you guys have heard of the 10,000 hour rule. Justin lives the 10,000 hour rule. It's the idea that it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. But what people don't realize is if you seek out a mentor or someone that you're modeling, you can drastically reduce that number of 10,000 hours. So one of the stories that I love to tell about Josh, it's not Josh. There's one.
There's so many. It's hard to.
Yeah. There is a professional violinist, one of the best violinists in the world. He said he had a person walk up to him at the end of his show and say, "I would give my life to play as you did," and he said, "I did." So, dedication is really, really important. I mean, you live it again with swimming. I'm sure you're surrounded by people who are like, I feel tired. I don't want to, I don't want to swim. I don't want to. Every single morning you have that choice to get up out of the bed at 4 or 5 in the morning and go train, or you could stay in there and sleep. But you're not going to accomplish your goals that you want in the sport of swimming unless you take action to get out of bed and go make it happen. Yeah. So, seeking out mentors and making it happen and being persistent. I mean, there's days when you lose, right? Yeah. But you don't give up. You keep moving forward. That's my tagline. That's why I love to tell people, keep moving forward, because you can make mistakes every single day, but as long as you're taking little steps towards a goal, you are making progress. So really important to remember that. Jeanette says, how do you mentally prepare for each event?
How do I mentally prepare? In the past, it was actually getting by myself, not talking to anybody whatsoever, and kind of getting really secluded. But in recent years, it's being a little bit more watching professional swimmers before I race and having that vision in my head and trying to apply it while I'm swimming. So it's like I'm trying to copy those same movements and also staying extremely warm. So you have faster twitch muscles, get off the block faster, and that's where I probably strive the best towards. The pre-race thing is probably my most important thing, because since I may not be the biggest and bulkiest person and the strongest, I am the fastest twitch muscle person, and it's mostly my mental state that pushes me past the limits that I have, and that's why I can do so well compared to other people who you may think that can swim faster than me, but I swim faster than them. And so it's mostly all mental, trying to play games on yourself, telling yourself that you're gonna win. And in recent years, you don't want to get too cocky, but in your mind that's how you want to express it, but you don't express it outwardly. So in recent years, I've actually I've convinced myself that I'm going to win. Like literally, there's nothing going to stop me from winning this event, and it actually happens. And even if it doesn't, I've already gone past of what I thought was going to happen in the back of my mind. So even if you set really high goals and really high standards for yourself, even if you don't make it, you've already gone way past whatever everyone else has gone. Yeah. So,
well, the power of visualization too is so important, because it's not just true for swimming, but when you prepare for a race, you're envisioning that perfect race that it takes to win.
That's right.
And actually, neurologically, we know now that when you have that process of visualization, your muscles are actually preparing to react in the way that you just did in your visualization. Yeah. So they bring what you visualized into reality. So what you think about, you bring about.
That's right.
That's not just true for swimming and your athletics. That's also true for any other aspect of your life. You want more money? Okay,
That's right.
You've got to think about having more money and what it needs to take, what you need to do, and what has to happen in order to get more money. You need to get out of a depressive state. You have to start to think about being outside of a depressive state before you bring it about, because what you think about, you bring about. It is very true. You look at any successful person in swimming, in finance, entrepreneurship, whatever that is, they conquered whatever it is that they were trying to do in their minds before they did it in reality. So really, really important to think about that too.
That is extremely powerful, and I can state for myself that I've had so many people tell me that I can't do anything or can't do what I've said in the sport of swimming, and that was from a really young age, and being exposed to that from a young age has prepared me to have extremely high goals for when I'm older. And I know that even if I don't make it exactly where I want to go, I'll always be extremely, extremely high. And that's a huge asset that you can have that is absolutely free, that you have in your brain, that no one can take it away from you. It's like the power of God, like in your hands over your life. It literally is.
Well, I mean, God created us and gave us the ability to create things. So when we are literally God breathed to be creators. So what that means is we have the ability to create a positive experience with other people, or we have the ability to create a negative experience. So every interaction we have with other people, we have an ability to leave them better after we talked with them, or worse after we talked with them. So it's a choice. Every time we do that, that's a choice. And I think a lot of people fail to realize that, or things just happen in life, we forget that. That is something that we always should be having at the top of our mind, because what we think about, we bring about. Again, I don't want to lessen that anymore. I don't want to maybe talk about that more than I've already talked about it, but that can't be said enough. I mean, it's so important to realize that. Let's see. So Lisa said, what would you tell a fourth grader to do to combat or overcome bullying and negative criticism at school?
I would probably say I think that goes into the realm of dealing with other people, and from personal experience, I wasn't too exposed to bullying. I got, for being a Christian and writing scriptures on my back, I did get a little bit of that when I was younger, but I think it's all about dealing with the one-on-one connection, or the connections between multiple people and yourself. So I think it has to deal with your ability to kind of manipulate other people, I would say. And it's kind of like it's yourself that is training yourself, building yourself up to combat what the other people have to say. So you can't change other people, you can only change yourself. But when you change yourself, other people will see it and know the difference. And I think it's all about the image that you portray about yourself. And I think it goes also back to positive thinking, what we stated before. If you think that you're a champion, and you know that you're going to be a champion, and you have the habits of a champion, you'll be a champion, and people respect that. And there's always going to be negative feedback. There's always going to be people that don't like you no matter what, because I like a certain quote that says there's 33% of people that like you, 33% of people who don't like you, and the other 33% you want to get to like you yourself. They're indifferent. So it's all about portraying yourself as being
confident, but not like prideful.
Yeah. So I think when you come into those situations, at the point of conflict, in confrontation, the best thing to do, honestly, is to walk away. I mean, you can't change other people, but you use it as a learning experience.
It also depends on the situation too, because if they're like threatening your life, I mean, you need to get out of the situation very quickly, and you need to, call 911 if it's that bad. especially in a school setting. There are people in place at most schools also who are there in those types of situations. So in most cases, you just need to report it.
Yeah.
But I would say, walk away if it's that bad. And again, people hurt people hurt other people.
Yeah.
So, people who are doing bullying, they're hurting very badly. So think about it. I mean, if I were if I would share some insights for the young fourth grader, just give them some insights that, hey, if it's getting pretty bad, go talk to a teacher, go talk to an adult somewhere in the school and say, hey, this is what's going on. Don't choose to retaliate. Because if you return evil for evil, you're only going to get more evil.
That's right.
You got to return evil for good. I know that's contrary to what most people would say. I mean, naturally, if I see people in need, I personally can't stand bullying, and I hated to see bullying when I was younger, so I would always step in. And I think we need more people to step in when we see negative things happening around us and say, hey, don't do that. That's not good. What if I did that to you? And of course, it's different when, you're 200 and some pounds and 6'2", but, not everyone is like that. So, whatever you feel like you're gifted with, it's important to be confident in who you are and, stand your ground and do what's right. So, let's see. Kyle, what do you guys do for fun in your free time?
What do I do for fun in my free time? I like to draw a lot. Movies, reading. Reading is really good because when you're reading, you're learning and you're expanding your vocabulary. And when you're expanding your vocabulary, you're gaining more intelligence. And the movies are, don't watch crappy movies. It's a waste of your time. You want to watch movies.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to be really mindful of what you're putting into your mind too, even for all the entertainment stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, including books too. You want to. That all realm is getting rid of the garbage, like Jason said. Yeah. So aside from that. Like I said, when I was younger, I played video games. That was really fun. And yeah, it's basically reading, movies. Beneficial movies are like The Pursuit of Happiness. That's a really good movie. That's one of my favorite movies. Movies that have like really deep meaning, I like a lot, that can teach me something even after I've watched it multiple times. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, for me, I mean, I work a lot, but work to me is what I love to do because I'm a business coach, consultant, and I work in content marketing. So I work with a lot of different businesses and leaders from all different walks of life, helping them unlock their full potential, unlock their story, and then share it with the world. So a lot of my time is spent doing that. A lot of my free time is still spent doing that, like in things like this. I'm not charging, people to watch these interviews because I'm so passionate about giving back to people just like you. Because, you matter, you have a purpose, and I want to help you, unlock who it is that you want to become. Because that's who you are right now. It's just taking a little bit of steps to improve who you are to have that ideal life that you want to live. So a lot of my free time is spending time with my wife and my daughter Alexandra. We love to spend time at the beach now that we live here in Florida. Love to ride bikes. I love to listen to podcasts, especially when I'm working out, because I can constantly learn. I used to hear the phrase readers are leaders. And leaders are readers, but now I would say learners are leaders and leaders are learners, because not everyone loves to read. You can learn in so many different aspects. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin, that has Virgin Airlines, and Virgin Mobile, a whole brand of the Virgin companies. He's dyslexic, so reading for him doesn't really work. So he has to listen to audiobooks, seek out mentors and business coaches that help him learn. So, you got to do what works for you to learn, but, don't let what you have as a disadvantage. Some people would see it as a disadvantage, but you got to work with what you have. So work with what you have, constantly be learning, because that's so important. So a lot of what I do is surrounded by learning, and executing as much as I can, as hard as I can on the work that I do with excellence. And then, with entertainment, I love to decompress, and most of my entertainment surrounds like uplifting and motivational content, like Pursuit of Happiness, Interstellar, very adventurous kind of themes, because even in a fictional format, we need to have heroes and we need to be heroes. Right. So that's what the kind of content that I love to do, and in terms of entertainment. So we're getting here close to time. If you have any other final questions, please comment in the comment section. We are going to do our final questions here. Getting close to the end of Fleagle's Bagels, episode 4. It is so great to be with you guys. Thank you so much for sticking in and tuning with us here on this episode. But again, last call for questions. If you have questions, let us know right now. We had a few come in here. Let's see. Who is your favorite brother and sister?
All of them. I don't have a favorite.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite either. Naturally, there are just some siblings that we gravitate to, because every person has different personalities, and we just like to spend time with different kinds of people. So, but in terms of like favorite, I don't play favorites. I mean, I love every one of them. So it's just what you enjoy in your life. You just naturally are attracted to people who are complementary to you. So.
Yeah, but also going with that, you have brothers and sisters. When you're a boy in the family, you're usually gravitate more towards the boys in the family. So I would say that I connect more with my brothers than my sisters, because if I have a problem, I'm more likely to go to them than my sisters. So and my personality is a little bit more like Jason's, so we connect a little bit more.
I don't know if that's good or bad. Let's see. Lisa says, "Where is the baby?" So Alexandra is probably in the living room right now watching the live video. So Lisa, that is where she is at.
She's enjoying it.
We've got Larry Gruber, very, very good friend, family friend of ours. Larry, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
He asks, is there a story behind all of the family siblings' names beginning with the letter J?
Actually, I don't know, honestly. I think it's because Jesus starts with the letter J, and I think...
That's a question for Mom. I don't know.
I think that's what it is, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's a question for my mom. I know that, my dad's name is Jeff, so Lisa, here's Alexandra. So I know my dad's name is Jeff, so I don't know if it was influenced, with his letter, the first letter of his name starting with J. That might be it. That's a question for her. Let's see. You go to your sisters for food.
Actually, that is a little bit true, honestly. I do go to Jeanette's for food, actually, so that is true.
All right, guys, we are getting here to the end of Fleagle's Bagels, episode 4. Alexandra, wave to everyone. Wave.
She's waving in her mind.
How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? She's just distracted by all the electronics right now and the lights. So, all right, guys. Hey, there you go. Yay. Good job. Good job. Yay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Justin, for being my guest here on Fleagle's Bagels, episode number 4. We're probably going to do another show at some point together in the near future. But next week, again, Thursday night, we are going to be going live for another episode of Fleagle's Bagels. If you have any topics, any people that you want us to interview for the show, please let me know and tag them in the comment section, and we will do our best to get them on the show. So thank you guys so much. Remember, Fleagle's Bagels is a show that has nothing to do with the bagels. Nothing to do with the bagels, but everything to do with the Fleagles.
Yep.
So thank you guys for tuning in. We will catch you guys next time, but remember to keep moving forward. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.